Hi Libra, this is your reading for the week of September 29th. It might not be for Libra Sun, it could be rising, moon, anyone who has a lot of Libra in their chart, and of course it won't be for every Libra. The chant that I was hearing earlier today when I was anticipating working with you, it was 2468, who do we appreciate, Libra? And this is really what I feel Spirit is coming in to really remind you of and to guide you on how to do that more easily. Is now it's time for you to be your own cheerleader. Now it's time for you to really worry less about how the people around you feel as a guide to how you should feel about yourself, and you being able to tune in and give yourself credit for the things that you like, and consider yourself now that your good opinion of you is how you serve yourself, and that service to yourself is a key part of spiritual grounding and spiritual evolution. Until you're ready to really stand for yourself, it's hard to evolve in a state of self-awareness and expanded consciousness, because if you can't stand for yourself, it's very difficult to be in touch with your feelings. It's hard to align with your high heart, your true heart, your spiritual self, your bigger self, your wise self, because this external referencing all the time and worrying about what people think takes you into that fearful aspect of personality, of being rejected, of not being good enough. And, this is definitely something that can happen with any person who is really concerned about avoiding conflict, wanting to make sure everybody's all right. And it's very much a Libra trait, not always out of being insecure. It is also very much a part of your character to want to have the people around you have a good time and not create conflict and make them feel welcome. That's a natural part of your personality. And Spirit really wants to remind you that this is a lovely thing. This is a good thing. It's only a problem when you are thinking about them first and not about yourself. It's only not good when your only feeling good comes from making sure everybody else is okay. If that's the only thing that causes you to feel good in yourself, then that's an indication that you've separated from a deeper sense of you, a deeper sense of knowing you at deeper levels. It's more surfacey, more personality, as opposed to coming from that expanded, wise, compassionate heart. And that's where Spirit is directing you. Now, what they're saying is this. How do you do that? Well, first thing is, it's really interesting because the pleasure card came up very, very soon into this spread. And what it says basically, when I interpret it in relation to what Spirit was saying and the other cards, it's basically, you can break it down to one thing. Heartfelt pleasure can guide us to acts of kindness and gratitude, open us up to greater depths of nourishing desires, compassion, and grace. So what they're talking about, notice the phrase heartfelt pleasure. So you're being asked to realize that spiritual evolution and development of self-awareness is directly related to you not just being of service to other people, but of you being of service to yourself, of you being your own cheerleader. 2468, who do we appreciate? Libra. Okay? So you get to use all these beautiful qualities that you have to help people around you feel good, to create lovely environments for them, to encourage them to feel welcome and open and create community. But what they're really saying is, this is about you now being connected enough to yourself that you're not just making them feel good. It's not just you here and them there. It's you creating rapport with them so you also get to share who you are, without the fear that can sometimes come along with that tendency to want everybody to be nice and happy and fun and all that stuff. The dark side of that, when you're not connected to your deeper self, is that you can lose track of what is good for you and what you would like. And in that moment, then it's really hard to have an authentic connection with other people. So what they're saying is, it is not just all right for you to like yourself and to be of service to yourself first. It's actually a really good thing. It's part of the spiritual evolution. It's part of how you act in service. And this is something that they're saying quite loudly in my ear right now. And that is that once we can all understand this as a human species, that loving ourselves and experiencing pleasure and supporting our own well-being, the more we are able to create unity and community, because we have the confidence and strength in ourselves so that we are not forced to create a sense of us and them as a way to stay safe and protect. So it sounds counterintuitive to say taking care of yourself first, the old self-love, blah, 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 right? But it's true. It's true. Self-love, not in a way that is arrogant. Self-love in a way that gives you a sense of ability to be able to look at yourself, to look at the things that you do great, that you do well, to look at the things that you don't do so well. That gives you the ability to, maybe scuff the fender of your car on something and be able to say in that moment, and this is important, in those moments when you do things that could threaten to bring up that old, I'm not good enough, oh my goodness, what are people going to say? It is those moments when that fear of doing something wrong, that concern about unworthiness gets triggered by doing things that we think are silly or wrong or stupid or careless or whatever they are. Those are the moments when you start really doing the reprogramming. You set the intention to do it. But whenever any of those things come up, oh my goodness, I spilled a whole glass of tea all over my friend's upholstered chair. And I hadn't known her that long. And she and her husband just socked it up. And it was like, oh, one of those moments, one of those socially embarrassing moments when you just want to just sink into the ground, right? It's in those moments that you have to be able to remember there is more to you than this personality, and be able to notice in that moment that you have a choice. You can be critical. You can be mean and hard on yourself, or you can let yourself acknowledge the embarrassment, make an apology, and apologize to yourself for wanting to berate yourself for it, because all of these little things are fine. And the reality is they were going to reupholster that chair anyway. Well, they said they were, but I've noticed a year later it's still not reupholstered. But the point is, what I got to see was how generous these people were in their attitude, how willing they were to ease my feeling. And you know what? It's little things like that that can actually create closeness and rapport, because in that now we all get to be vulnerable, right? Now, it also means then that they get to do things and make mistakes, and I get to be kind and affectionate towards them in it, and make them date squares when things go wrong and whatever. It's about rapport, and that's the thing. Rapport isn't just about making everything right for them at your exclusion. It's about making it right for everybody. And the only way that it can be right for everybody is if you decide in your mind that you're going to allow your ability to experience pleasure to override your fear of doing things wrong. And when you do any of those things that you think are wrong and they haunt you, they come back and you go, Oh, yeah, but I did scuff my fender, and that really was like, why didn't I take a wider turn? It might come back to haunt you, and you might have to sit down and do some self-talk. But you can also use it as a way to track back to wherever that insecurity started. And you don't even have to know an event. You can just know that feeling started somewhere before now, and you can hold the awareness of that you. And you can love that you, because that's the you that's coming up now. Yes, there we go. Let's down with the tail, darling. They don't need to see that. No. Okay, Libras. Now, I think that I'm probably finished. Let me just check with, right. You do have a break. You do have a card here saying, please, you've got these beautiful cards here at the end that are just amplifying this. The first card is, please remember what you like about yourself. And when you start saying those things that are not so nice about you, stop and go, okay, wait a minute. Yes. Okay, maybe I was a little careless. And you know what? I'm human. But I've already made the agreement that my world is created by what I put into my mind. So now into my mind, I'm going to put the things that I like. I'm going to say, yes, okay. So next time, no, I'll make that turn differently. But in the meantime, look at what else I've done. Look at how else I have handled situations with this car or whatever. If it's about something else, fine, something else. But whatever you like, and if it's not related to that particular event, you know what? I like the fact that I take responsibility. I like the fact that I can have a sense of humor about things. I like the fact that I create good friendships. I like the fact that I write well. I have a great sense of taste. I'm pulling things out of the air here. But please remember the things that you like about yourself. Notice your choices whenever you whenever you find yourself leaning into things that are not good. Notice them and find out why. And ask yourself, what could I choose instead? Because a lot of times it's just habit, right? We've got those neural patterns. A lot of times it's just habit. So what you can do is say, okay, look, I'm going down the dark road now. What can I do instead? What other choice can I make about how I wish to feel? And you're also being asked, please, Libra, take a break from trying to fix yourself. Okay? What we're talking about here is not about fixing yourself. It's about loving yourself. It's about supporting yourself. It's about finding new small ways to be your own cheerleader. Okay? This is, it's about growth. We often I think we make the mistake of feeling often in this kind of, when those of us who are working with these kinds of channels and listening to them, that self-growth is about fixing ourselves, but it's not. Self-growth is about exploring ourselves, understanding ourselves, and being able to understand the nuance of our behaviors in a way so that we can change them and live a happier, more fulfilled life. Because when we are happier and more fulfilled, everybody around us is too. So it's about self-growth. It's about self-awareness. It's about the power to make new choices that are going to serve you better. Because when you are served better from a genuine, authentic place, you serve better. Okay? I leave you, my lovely Libras. Take care.